Well, do you have any idea about the killer's identity?
The crime was committed by a man of medium height, with red hair and suspicious eyes. He has a slight limp on the right foot, and a wart just below his shoulder blade.
Poirot!
Mon ami, what do you want? You fix upon me a look of dog-like devotion and demand of me a pronouncement à la Sherlock Holmes. Now for the truth. I do not know what the murderer looks like, nor where he lives, nor how to set hands upon him.
What shall we do, then?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Do not be so impatient, Hastings. The killer will manifest himself soon enough.
I thought I heard the postman. Maybe there's some news.
I would go and see. Daily Flicker, June the 22nd, 1935. Battle over control of bank system. What will the government do for money? And some cool air. It is not the right time. Dear Mr. Poirot, well, what do you think? I believe that I won this round. The Endeavour affair went like clockwork, don't you feel? But the fun has only just started. I would like to draw your attention to Bexhill-on-Sea on the 25th of this month. We're having a crazy time. Best wishes, ABC. The next crime will be in Bexhill. We must warn Jap to Scotland Yard.
Did the letter indicate anything that might help the police?
To be honest, I think we can already guess something about the next victim. But I need to think about it a little more. Andover, Hampshire, population 31,200 inhabitants. Let us examine this more closely. Certain characters in the two letters may have similar defects. Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. Yes, this I is weird. Let us examine the characters in this word. Let us examine the characters in this word. Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. the W is not printed properly. However, the characters in the two words do not match. The W is not printed properly. Yes, this I is weird. Let us examine the characters in this word. Let us examine the characters in this word. Let us examine the characters in this word. The W is not printed properly. However, the characters in the two words. Let us examine the characters in this word. Nothing to report for these characters. Let us examine another word. Let us examine the characters in this word. No, this character does not appear to have any defects. Let us examine another word. The W is not printed properly. Let us examine the characters in this word. Let us examine the characters in this word. Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. That's right. The A characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Let us examine the characters in this word. The W is not printed properly. Of course, the W characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Yes, this I is weird. No, I already know that the letter W was deleted in the two letters. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Yes, the I characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. My theory was right. These two letters were written with the same typewriter. Both letters were written on the same typewriter and show the same characteristics.
You surprise me, Poirot. You usually ignore material proof.
But there is nothing usual about this case, Hastings. Nothing must be overlooked. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
So, Poirot, have you found something?
Oui, I believe so. But I am afraid it is not enough to stop the murderer. Let us go and see Chief Inspector Japp. I will explain there. It is not the right time to go home. To Scotland Yard, please. Like all hunters, Hastings has always been fascinated by weapons. Japp has invested a great deal in his career. Japp is an investigator greatly respected by his peers. Japp appears to be snowed under. Japp appears to already be overloaded with work. My news is not going to improve matters. Bonjour, Chief Inspector. I am afraid we have some bad news. I have just received another letter signed ABC. The next crime will be on the 25th in Bexhill-on-Sea.
Are you completely sure it's from the same person?
I have compared the two letters. There is no doubt about it.
I suppose you think he's going to carry out his threats.
I fear so.
Good God, Poirot. Bexhill is very busy at this time of year, and we have no idea who the next victim will be.
I suspect that the name of the second victim will start with B.
What on earth makes you think such a thing?
I thought about it when I saw the name Asher clearly written over the shop door of the unfortunate woman who was murdered in Andover last month. When I received the letter mentioning Bexhill, I deduced that the victim, like the town, might have been chosen by alphabetical order.
So, it's an alphabet fiend. I'm going to have a list drawn up of all the people whose name starts with B. I hope there aren't too many of them.
Bien, we should leave you to work, Chief Inspector.
You have a few days to prepare yourself.
Thank you for coming, my friends.
Poirot?
Chief Inspector Japp, your call does not bode well.
Indeed, we have just found the body of a young woman on the beach in Bexhill. An ABC was placed on the body.
We'll be there as soon as possible.
Bexhill is a delightful town. It would be nice to come back and visit.
I do not entirely agree. Walking at the beach damages my shoes, and it hurts my knee.
So the years have not spared you, my friend. It's the same for all of us.
That is exactly what I said to myself when I saw you back from your travels.
Poirot!
Do not be offended, Hastings. I can see Jap waiting for us. And from his face, I would say that things are not looking good. I fear that this case is far from being solved.
Come on, Poirot. You'll find the killer.
Certes. But how many times will he kill before I do? Hastings appears to be ill at ease. He appeared to be relatively indifferent to Mrs. Asher's murder, but a young woman's murder seems to be troubling him greatly.
How do you do, gentlemen?
Chief Inspector?
I fear your admirer has struck again, Poirot. We haven't yet identified the victim, but it's a young woman, 20 to 25 years old. Death occurred last night between 11:30 and 1 o'clock, and we found an ABC guide on the body.
Was she pretty?
Come on, Poirot, that's rather out of place. It has no bearing on the murder.
Are you certain? For women, it is often the most important thing. It often decides their destiny.
The body hasn't been moved. You can see for yourself.
Has the press been informed?
Not yet, but I'm planning to. I haven't yet informed them about the presence of the ABC guide in Andover.
Nobody has reported a young woman missing?
Not for the moment.
No witnesses, I imagine?
Indeed. We've asked everybody who may have met a young woman fitting her description last night to come and see us, but I have little hope of gaining anything from it.
It's early days, Chief Inspector, and the news may not have spread around the town yet.
I hope you're right, Hastings.
The guide is open at the page for the Bexhill train times. This key is too small to be one for a house. Without a doubt, it is for a padlock. A braided silk belt. It may have belonged to the victim. She was a great beauty. Strange that chap didn't notice it. These marks have been left by a rope or a braided cloth. Apart from the marks on her neck, there are no signs of the struggle. She didn't manage to hit her assailant. The young woman wasn't wearing shoes or a coat and was not carrying a bag. That's strange. Either the murderer stole her belongings or she put them somewhere safe. Maybe so that she could bath. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. The poor child must have been strangled with his braided belt. Unfortunately, in view of the fabric, it is unlikely that we will find any prints. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. The medical officer should confirm that the victim was strangled with her own belt.
That's what I thought. She shows the usual signs of strangulation.
With a little luck, we'll find prints this time.
You are too optimistic, Hastings. Our killer is far too meticulous for that. This hut is locked. This hut is locked. This hut is locked. A dual locking padlock. I need to find the code and then insert a key. Betty's first day at work. Mom is very proud of you. Elizabeth Barnard, 7 August 1931. So, the young lady did have a name starting with B, and she worked as a ginger cat, an establishment that must be slightly further along the beach. The purse is full. Yet again, we can dismiss theft as the motive for the murder. Here is the watch she must have removed to prevent it from getting wet. A top-brand lipstick. She liked to take care of her appearance. As well as a photo of the victim with some company. It could be useful to me. It definitely was here that the victim left her belongings.
Jap has gone to the police. The victim has been identified and her family had reported her disappearance. She was called?
Elizabeth Barnard, mainly Betty. She worked as a ginger cat at the cafe slightly further along the beach.
But Poirot, how on earth?
Never mind. Do you have her address?
Yes, she lived with her parents on the street leading to the beach, number 22. Shall we go?
You are far too impatient, Hastings. Let the poor people take in the news first. Let us go and visit the cafe where Betty worked. Could it be the same buildings as on the victim's photo? This is definitely where the photo I found in the hut was taken. I fear that this case is far from being solved.
Come on, Poirot. You'll find the killer.
Certes. But how many times will he kill before I do?
I'll be with you in a minute, gentlemen.
What a pity. I don't have any change to make it work. Something tells me that she's the owner of the ginger cat. This woman must be the owner of the ginger cat. It looks like something is bothering her.
How can I help you?
A hot chocolate and a tea for my friend, please.
I'll bring it straight away.
I need to know the time range during which Betty was working on her own. This page won't help me. Where is Betty? Betty worked from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Would she have been alone at any time during her service? No, this person is not the last one to have worked with Betty. Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve? No, this person is not the last one to have worked with Betty. No, this person is not the last one to have worked with Betty. This page won't help me. These are the different waiting staff's bills. Which ones were written by Betty? Most probably a single man, a whiskey lover, maybe the murderer. This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one. Most probably a family. Betty served a family and a man on his own, a whiskey drinker, maybe the murderer. This information will help me to progress.
But, gentlemen, what are you doing?
We are searching for clues, mademoiselle. My name is Hercule Poirot. I am a detective, and this is Captain Hastings. Does Betty Barnard work here?
That is correct. She should have been here a while ago. Punctuality is the first rule of politeness.
I fear that Miss Barnard will not be coming today. She has just been found, dead, on the beach a few hundred meters from the cafe.
How awful. Poor young thing. What happened?
She appears to have been murdered.
This is most distressing. How this will affect my business, I shudder to think.
What can you tell us about Miss Barnard?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Miss Barnard was my employee. Her private life was none of my business.
You did know at least that she had a young man.
Indeed.
Do you think he could have harmed her?
I repeat, I wasn't on close terms with Betty, and even less so with her fiancé. How do you expect me to answer such a question? Now, please excuse me, I have work to do.
The customer who ordered the whiskey might provide us more information. He may have been the last one to see Betty alive.
It is an interesting idea, Hastings. Maybe he is a regular guest. What do you think, mademoiselle?
I don't think so. Our regular guests tend to order tea and cakes. At this time of the year, there are a lot of tourists about you never see again.
That's what I thought. Time to visit Betty's home. How do you do, mademoiselle? My name is Hercule Poirot.
I know you. You're that detective we hear all about.
I do not know if that is a compliment, but I will take it as one for now. You are Betty's sister, I believe?
Yes. My name is Megan.
Can we come in?
Please do. My parents are at the police station. I doubt they'll be up to speaking to you later.
Do not worry, we will not bother them.
Did you know your sister's plans for yesterday evening?
No. I arrived by train this morning. My parents called me in a panic when they discovered that Betty had disappeared. She went out last night, but she didn't tell them where she was going.
What was your last conversation about?
Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother brought her a pair. The very day it happened. She was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
This gramophone is magnificent. It is a one-off, without a doubt. Family photos and files. What is she feeling at the moment? Betty's older sister is not just sad, she is angry. Your sister had a fiancé, I believe?
Yes, he's called Donald Fraser. A very nice man.
Do you know where we might find him?
He works at the estate agent's, Court and Brunskill. Oh, excuse me, I have to answer that.
But of course.
Betty's room is opposite the stairs on the first floor. Feel free to take a look if you think it might be useful.
This young woman is far too clever not to have anything else for us.
Do you think she's hiding something?
That is what I'm trying to find out.
Surely you don't think she did it?
I did not say anything of the sort, but young women always ruin your judgment, Hastings. Who knows, maybe Megan was jealous of her attractive young sister.
I see. She may have had her sights on the inheritance. Or maybe she was in love with Donald Fraser.
We have to study all scenarios, even the most unlikely. But I doubt that Mr. and Mrs. Barnard are rich enough to justify murder. While I try and get Miss Barnard to talk, I would like you to try and find Donald Fraser. It should be easy to find the estate agents where he works. Bring him to the Ginger Cat. I would like to talk with him before the Chief Inspector finds him.